Right? Tell me what you get for X and tell me what you get for Y.
These two are vectors.
Was that Megan? For sure. There's supposed to be a Y in the corner here. 3Y. That's what I mean? Yeah, it looked like a, yeah. Supposed to be 3Y. 3YG. Right? So we compare in here. And we compare in here. So that's X minus 1 is equal to 2. So X is 3. Nice. And then we compare in here with here. So that means that 3Y is equal to 5. Right? So when you solve for Y, you'll get 5 on 3. Right? So that's the principle of similar vectors, right? Any questions? Hamlet, any questions? Oh, no. Hold on, Oli. I'm just trying to somebody let's take off your flash. Somebody trying to log in. Right? So that's the way you do equal vectors, right? You just compare the coefficients of I. Remember, please remember coefficients is the value and the sign. So if you go negative 4G, negative 5G, then you take all of this, right? Negative 5 as well. Next, to add and subtract vectors. So suppose I gave you two vectors, let's say 3, 4, added to minus 2, 1, right? If I gave you addition of vectors, all you're doing is you're adding the x's and you're adding the y's. So you will get 3 plus minus 2, and you'll get 4 plus 1. Okay, so your answer will be 1, 5. That's the way you add and subtract is the same thing, right? So you add or subtract similar positions. Okay, same thing here. If I give you 4i minus 3j, and I asked you to minus 2i plus 6j, right? All you do is you subtract the i's and subtract the j's, right? I just like to write it like this instead. It's a little bit easier to see. Right? So you subtract the x's, 4 minus 2, that's 2. Minus 3 minus 6 is minus 9. And that's it. You good to go? Right? So that's what this means here. That's the way you add and you subtract vectors. Now, how do we multiply vectors by a scalar? Well, real simple. You multiply the scalar by each of the values. So you'll get k by a, k by b. So it will look something like this, right? If I ask you to find 3 of the vector 2 minus 1, you multiply 3 by 2, which is 6, 3 by minus 1, which is minus 3. And that's it. That's the way you multiply vectors, and that's the way you add and subtract vectors. All right? Any questions? Amrit? Imran, any questions? Hamlet, you paying attention as yet? No questions? All right. So let's try this small example here. Suppose I told you that the vector A is 2i minus 4j, and the vector B is I plus 2j. Right? Just do me a favor. Find 2a plus 3b. Right? Just message your answer. 2a plus 3b. Try this. Right? Keep messaging. Right? As I said, it's always nicer to write it like this, right? 2 minus 4, 3 by 1, 2. Right, let me check out the answers. Okay, right? I like how you all write it back. I like how you all wrote it back in terms of ing, right? Maybe just waiting on Imran there. Just waiting on Imran and a few others. All right, so let's see what you got, right? So 2 by 2, that's 4. Imran, I ain't get your answers yet. 2 by 2 is 4. 2 by minus 4 is minus 8. 3 by 1 is 3. 3 by 2 is 6. All right, tell me why you're confused now, Imran. Multiplying or adding? Right, then you add the same positions, right? 4 plus 3, that's 7. Minus 8. Where the numbers came from, right here. Right, this is the 2 minus 4. And this is the 1, 2. Right? So 4 plus 3 is 7. Minus 8 plus 6 is minus 2. So the answer is 7 minus 2. But as you all recognize, right, no formula. Imran, there's no formula, right? All you're doing is you're taking the x values and you're adding them, y values and adding them. If there's a value in front, you just multiply it out. 2 by 2 is 4. 2 by minus 4, minus 8. Same thing here. 3 by 1 is 3. 3 by 2 is 6. So that's all I got this here. And then, because it's addition sign, add the x, add the y's. So I got 7 minus 2. Right? So that's the reason why I like how you all put back the answer with the I and the j. So that's 7i minus 2j. Right? Imran, make any sense? Right? So it's not a formula. All you're doing is adding the x and you're adding the y. Right? Copy this down. Copy this one down fast, and I'm giving you one again. Finish? All right, so let's try this next one here. The vector A is minus 3, minus 1. And the vector B is 2, minus 3. So just quickly find 5A minus 2B. 5A minus 2B. Right, everyone, take your time with this one, right? Make sure you catch it. Look all the values here. You just plug it into this and then minusing it off. Take your time with these signs, Aulia. Right, just be careful with your signs. I see in different answers. Just check back your signs, right? Like if it's minus 3 minus this. Right? And then check back yours. Imran, I want to see yours, right? Let me see what you come up with. You can also take a pic and send it to me.
Plus 8 equals
Right, but let's check back all your values. Look at how much different answers I see in here. All right, so we'll check it out. That's now you're gonna trouble with these signs, huh? Signs are giving you some. So it will be 5 by A minus 3 minus 1 and 2 minus 3. Right, Mr. Imran, how far you reach? Right, some people check back theirs. That's Severa. Esther, check back yours. Hurry up, multiply it out. What you get? I want to see your answer. So for this one, you do have to write it back in terms of I and J. You don't have to.
you look at the right.
Right, so it's 5 by minus 3, which is minus 15. 5 by minus 1, that's minus 5. Minus 2 by 2, right? So it's up to you, right? I'll leave the minus sign here and just multiply 2 by B. So 2 by 2, that's 4. 2 by minus 3 is minus 6. If you multiply by minus 2, then you'll have to have a plus in the middle here, right? So I just worked out 2B, and I got 4 minus 6. Right? And now I'm going to do the subtracting. So it will be minus 15 minus 4 and minus 5 minus 6. So I got minus 19 and 1. Right? You don't have to write it like this, 19I plus J. If you leave it minus 19, that's good enough. Right? So from what I see in there, some people may have multiplied by minus 2 and then still subtract. Okay, copy down in case you make a little mistake. Yeah, Imran. Won't it be plus 6? Right, so watch here. Multiply this by 5. Multiply this by 2. So if you do it this way again, 4 minus 6. Here will be minus 15 minus 5. Okay, so you're multiplying this vector here by 2. That's how I got 4 minus 6. Okay. Right, Imran? All right, come on. What are you confused about? Use your audio. So I gotta wait on you to type.
Nah, sir, trying to figure out the negative sec. I'm still confused.
Right. So the question says 5a minus 2b. So the first thing you should try to do is try to find 5a. So 5a means you're multiplying this by 5 and this by 5. So that will give you minus 15 minus 5. You okay with that?
Yes, sir.
Then they said 2b. So I multiply this by 2 and this by 2. So I'll end up with 4 minus 6. You okay with that step? How to get 5a and 2b? Now I'm going to take this here and minus this. So I'll take minus 15 minus 5 and minus 4 minus 6. That's okay?
Yeah.
And that's how I got minus 19, 1. All right, nice. You okay now, Imran?
Yes, sir.
All right. So the next thing we have to learn to do after we learn about addition and subtraction, and we learn about multiplying by a scalar, we have to learn to multiply two vectors. By just looking at this rule, I know I didn't explain it. Anybody can tell me what to do to multiply two vectors? By looking at what I have there. What does that mean? I'll explain it just now, but I want to see if anybody pick it up as yet. What do you do to get the solution for multiplication of two vectors? Anybody? You can turn on your multiple. Right, let me see what to say. Add the product of the sum of I and j. Okay, I like that, Elizabeth. Jason said multiply the top 2 and the bottom 2 and add. All right. I didn't like that too much, Jason. But that could work, right? That's what you're saying. Multiply the i's and the j's and then add them. Okay. Multiply e by c, b by d. All right, that could pass. So what you're doing is you're multiplying the x values and the y values and adding them. Okay. What I also want you to realize is that you're not going to get a vector. All of these here are vectors. This is not a vector. This is a scalar. It's an actual value. All right, so watch this here. Okay, let's say I gave you the vector A. The vector A is 2, 3. And the vector B is equal to, let me just put in some minus signs, right? So the multiplying kind of bad today and add it, right? And I asked you to find the product of A and B. This product here, it has two names for it, Nathan. The dot or the scalar product, right? How do we work it out? Well, write A and write B, right? And just as Joel said, right? Multiply the top 2, multiply the bottom 2 and add them. So you're multiplying the x's, which is 2 by 5, and adding it to 3 by minus 1. So you'll end up with 10 minus 3.
I didn't get that.
That's equal to minus 7. I mean, I'm positive 7. Okay? So again, you're multiplying the top 2, as you all said, bottom 2, right? Top 2, bottom 2, and you add them. And notice you no longer have a vector. This is a scalar. That's just a magnitude. Okay? That's why it's called scalar product, because we end up with a scalar. Right, Hamlet, to add you back, right? So try to pay attention, please. Okay, Hamlet. All right, copy it down. Imran, you okay with this?
Sort of so
Right, why is not yes? Tell me why. What looking hard?
is add math, so
It's not add math. It's just multiplying. We ain't reach add math as yet. We ain't reach the hard part yet. Right, copy it down. I'm gonna give you one to try here. Right? Anybody writing? All right, let's go again. Right, let me give us some minus signs because you're doing, I don't like how you're dealing with these minus signs, right? No calculator, all yeah? You're doing a calculator for this. Practice with your direction numbers and things, right? So this is minus 4, 3, 2, minus 8. Right? Tell me what you get here. What is the scalar product? Right? Keep messaging. Waiting on Mr. Imran and Mr. Hamlet. Samir, did you send me any answers as yet, Samir? You're always catching up. Can't catch up now, Hamlet. I want you to work this out because I wasn't paying attention all the time. That's all his message every class. Yes, I do that. I put you in the waiting room because I'm talking to you all the time. I wasn't listening. Yeah, Imran. I messaged you as well on the chat, so that's the numbers you're using. So let's see what A is, right? A is minus. Oh, sorry. A is minus 4, 3, right? That's the vector that we're using, Imran, right? Oh, you can't see them. Well, I'm writing them here. 4 and 3, and 2 and minus 8. Right? 4 and 3, 2 and minus 8, right? So it will be minus 4 by 2, and then 3 by minus 8. Right, Hamlet? That's all you're doing. That's putting them in position. You're multiplying the top 2, the bottom 2, and then adding them. Okay, so that's minus 8 minus 24. So you'll end up with minus 32. Okay? So that's the way you get, that's the way you multiply vectors. Okay, so remember, there are two things that you can do. You can multiply a vector by a scalar, right? Or you can multiply two vectors. What's important is that whenever you're multiplying two vectors, you remember that you're always going to get a scalar value. So it's no longer a vector, no more I, no more J. Okay, that's the way you multiply two vectors. Right, let's do one more for Imran and Hamlet, right? Let's see if they will send any answers. Imran, Hamlet, you'll understand this now?
Yes, sir.
Hamlet, right? You're not seeing all the way up here, Imran? All right, I'll bring it down a little bit lower for you, right? Right, I'm bringing it down a little bit lower so you can see it. All right, so I'll give you a nice easy one here again. Seeing down here?
Yes, sir.
All right. And I put in plenty negative signs here, so just be careful, please. Again, find A by B for me. Yeah, it have writing on the screen, Hamlet, so you have to log out and log in or something. All right, so let's see what you got. Right, most of the answers are correct. All right, let's see what you got there, Imran. So what is A? A is minus 3 minus 4. B is 2 minus 2. So you put in minus 3 in here, 2 in here, minus 4 in here, minus 2. Minus 3 by 2, that is minus 6, plus minus 4 by minus 2, which is 8. Minus 6 plus 8, that's 2. Right, so you're multiplying across like the same run. Yeah, no, I see what you did wrong. You multiply here and then add here, right? Okay, so nice. That's the way you find the dot product, right? So let's turn it into ADMA type question now. Okay, copy it down and let's see if we can turn it into ADMA type question. I'm going to give you the scalar product and I'll leave a variable in there and you have to work it out. All right, so let's see what will happen here. So if A is equal to xi plus 2j and B is equal to, I'm keeping it simple, right? And B is equal to 2i plus 5j, I would like you to find x if, so I'm giving away dot product is now. If the dot product, right? If the dot product of A and B is 16, I want you to try to find x. Right, so do your usual thing, do your substitutions, create a little equation, and solve for x. Take your time, let's see what you get here. Remember, make your screen a little bit smaller, right? Right, make your screen a little bit smaller. A is xi plus 2j. So basically what we have, and I'm working it out, right? I just write in the lower part for Imran, right? Right, so it's x here, 2 here. And when you multiply that by 2, 5, you're going to get 16. Okay, create your equation there and solve quick. All right, so what we will get here, 2 by x, that's 2x. 2 by 5, that's 10. Then you add them and you make it equal to 16. Move the 10 across, you'll get 2x is equal to 16 minus 10. 2x is equal to 6. And last part, x is equal to, you divide everything by 2. The answer is 3. All right. All right. I want to show you, I just want to show you something because we have time. I want to show you why it is we're doing this. Why it is we're multiplying the x and why it is we're multiplying the y and then add it. Right? I want to show you why we're doing that, right? But in order to understand it, there's something that I need to know later on, but I'll just give you the rule. There's a rule that says every time we have I and I, or we have J and J, that product is always going to be 1. So you can take off I and you can take off J and you'll get 1. But if instead you end up with I multiplied by J or J multiplied by I, you're going to get C. All right? So you might wonder what I'm talking about there. So watch this here. All right? Watch this here. I want to show you something that could possibly happen, right? Let's use back that vector 3. Right? If our answer was 3. So if I had to multiply A by B the long way, I would have written this, right? 3I plus 2J by 2I plus 5J. Right? So it would have been 3I by 2J. So I would have gotten 6 by I. Because remember is this, right? 3I by 2I. 3 by 2 is 6. I by I is I. Okay? And then if I continue that same pattern, right? It will be 3I by 5G, which is 15IJ. Then 2J by 2I, that's 4JI. 2J by 5J is 10GJ. Correct? Yeah. Remember, as I said a little while here, this and this is 0. Right? And then II and JJ, that's 1. So technically, we're multiplying 6 by 1 plus 15 by 0 plus 4 by 0 plus 10 by 1. So this is 6 plus 10, which is 16, right? So in short, instead of having to always do what I did there, here's what they said. They said all you have to really do is multiply the x values and the y values and add them, right? You could ignore the others because you're going to get 0 anyway, right? So in short, you're just multiplying this by this by this, and adding it together. All right? I just wanted to show you where it came from. And later on, you're going to see this. You're going to see why I by I is 1, I by J is 0. Right? It's always good for you to know why, because it's much easier to remember something when you know why. If you just watch it sometimes you might forget after a short period of time. But if you know why, you can always go back and figure it out. Okay? Chloe, you okay with that? Elizabeth? You okay with where the dot product, well, the formula where the dot product came from? Yeah? Okay, nice. So that's the way we do these multiplication of vectors, right? Copy down quick. Just for you to see where everything came from. All right, ready? All right, so the last thing I want to introduce is something called displacement vectors, right? Right, so I want to introduce something called displacement vectors. Let's say I give you something like this. Right, of course, we have the origin, right? We have the origin there, and we have a point here. Let's call the point A, and we have a vector to that point. So we have OA. So we have O to A. And then same thing I'll do. I'm gonna give you a random point B, and we have the vector OB. Right? Let's pretend it is OA. Actually, I'll use a little dots. I don't know if you're all seeing the dots, right? I'll use the little dots. Right. So we know what OA is, right? OA appears to be the vector 3, 8. Right? OA appears to be the vector 3, 8. And OB appears to be the vector 8, 3. That's just the way I drew it, right? So here's what displacement vector allows us to do. We know what is OA, we know what is OB, but we do not know what is the vector AB. So displacement vectors, so I want to find AB, right? So what displacement vectors allows us to do, it allows us to find unknown vectors. So I have OA and I have OB, but I don't know what is AB. So here's what displacement vectors allows us to do. It allows us to use the shape, in this case, use a triangle, to find the alternate route from A to B along the triangle. So how do I get from A to B? Well, so watch this here. I'm starting at A and I'm following the route of the triangle. So I'm following A and I'm going down to O, right? So I'm going this way. And then when I reach at O, I'm following the triangle and I'm going to B, right? So how does that help me? Well, to find AB following this rule here, I could start at A, then I could go to O, right? So I'm going A to O, and then I'm going to add that to starting at O and then going to B. So I'm starting here, I'm coming down here. When I reach here now, I'm coming up here. How do we represent that in terms of vectors? We write A to O and O to B. Am I making any sense? Making sense, Olia? Aiden? Amrit? Anisha? Making sense? Right, so for those who get lost there, let me just go to it one more time. How do I find this unknown vector here? So I want to find that vector. I do not know AB and I can't read it off. Right? I can't read off AB. So how do I find it, right? You have to look at the shape you have. 99% of the time at this level, it will be a triangle. But this rule here works for any shape. All right? So how do I find AB? Well, AB is a vector. So all I have to do is a pathway that allows me to get from A to B. So I'm starting at A and I'm going to O. So I write AO. Then at O, I'm going to B. So I write OB and I add them. That's it. Right? That's the way you find displacement vectors. So any unknown vector could be found using that method. Right? That's why it's called displacement vectors. Right? So to find any unknown vector, you just need the alternate route from where you start to where you finish. Right? And what is AO? This is OA. Anybody remember how to get AO? If OA is 3 minus if AO is 3/8. OA, sorry, is 3/8. What is AO? Anybody? Right. Very good, Elizabeth. -3 minus 8, right? So remember to change the sign, right? And then OB is still A3. So your answer will be 5 minus 5. Okay? So that's the way you find displacement vectors. Copy it down. Hamlet, you follow it now? And copy it down. I want to use back the same diagram, right? Right. That part in red is a general rule, right? Find the alternate route from the first letter to the last letter. And what you will also notice is that you're splitting up the A and the B, and you're putting the same letter between them. Right? You're putting the same letter in between the A and the B all the time. Copy it down, and I want to give you one too. Just one and we're done, right? I'll give you one and then we can wrap up. Right? I'll continue from right here. We almost finished with the theory before we could hit the past papers. Anybody writing? Right, I want to try to use back the same diagram, right? By the way, you'll see dots on the screen? Just in the little dots, like little grids, like how Megan paper this be. You seen the little dots, Megan? Okay. All right. Anybody writing? I want to take this off, right? So I want you to find AB here for me. But you're going to have to use the scale to figure out OA and OB, right? All right, so let's go. Let us try to get, let's see if we can plot up some points here. So this is your A. Right, A is 2, 7. Right, I am just plotting the points here in case some of you don't see it, right? And I'm plotting the next one here. Right here, that's B. Right, B is 9, 4. B is 9, 4. Go ahead. I want you to find OA, OB, AB. Find everything for me. All you messaging for me is what is AB, and we're done. Right, take your time. You can draw up a little diagram if you want. Same diagram. Right, same diagram. Right, go ahead and work it out. Right, you have A, which is 2, 7, and B, which is 9, 4. Nice. Seeing some answers coming in there. Right, remember, because it's a vector, that you must have a diagram earlier. So you draw a line A to B, and you find AB. And you'll recognize it's the same thing, right? You'll recognize it's still A to O plus O to B. It's still A to O plus O to B. Nice, I see answers coming in. Nathan, check back the last letter, right? Elizabeth, check back yours there, Elizabeth. Right, remember, if you're writing it like, okay, all right, I'll have to leave it like that. And check back your sign. Right. Right. Correct, Elizabeth. How far you reach, Imran? Yes, send it, Hamlet. How far you reach, Imran? Right. Nice job, Renisha. Okay. Right, Imran. So you help me finish this last part out. Taking too long. Tell me what's AO, Imran? What's AO? We know what's OA, 27, right? What's A to O? No, you see why you're getting problems, Imran? You're forgetting the basic things, right? A to O is where you change the signs. So instead of 27 is -2, -7. Right. And we know what OB is already, right? OB is 9-4. So tell me what is the answer now, Imran? All right, well, tell me what's the answer. Work it out fast. Sure? You have the underneath part. Check it back again. Right, yeah. I have to just get used to this new whiteboard earlier. It's a collaborative board where you all could actually start to work and write something on it. So I want to try to use it. Maybe next week I'll try. Right, correct now. -2 + 9 is 7. -7 + 4 is -3. So the answer is 7i minus 3j. All right. So that is our introduction into, right? That's the introduction into displacement vectors. It's based on how you get it. So you see, Jason, if it gets it with the brackets, you can leave it like that. But if they give you with I and J, you put it back in I and J. Right? So sometimes to be safe, you just write both of them if you're not sure. It wouldn't take it nothing else to write the second form as well. All right, so nice, Solia.